Alrighty, so this is a update on the current projects and also some answers to questions that I've had. First things first, someone made the point of, I said 920 nanometers about the light in the last video. It is in fact 940 nanometers, and that's this light, which I will make a link of all the things that I purchased for this in the description. I'll do a couple links to all the things that I purchased and maybe some other things that I think might be useful for anyone working on a pair of these. Someone asked about that, so I'll do that for them. And also someone asked about how I mounted this, so I'll explain that a little bit more in depth. Basically, I took the original mount that was on there. I unscrewed it from the Russian tanker helmet. I bent it kind of flat and curved like this. I used these two holes, which I already had, to just put screws into this knockoff Wilcox mount. I screwed an extra hole in here, took the top screw out of this Wilcox mount, and then screwed it back on with this mount. So I just have 3 screws in here holding it on. Now, I don't have a problem screwing into this helmet because it is a Lancer Tactical airsoft helmet. Now it's like $50, which can be a lot of money for some people, but for a bump helmet or a ballistic helmet, that's not a lot of money at all. I think like a Team Wendy bump helmet's about $300, and a decent modern ballistic helmet, brand new, is probably going to run you close to $1,000. Now, if you're in some kind of situation where you need ballistic protection, I think it's $1,000 well spent. But for most of you who just want something like this, even $300 is pretty good. If you have a pricier unit like a PVS 14 or even like some dual tubes, you definitely want to buy a decent bump helmet, because you do not want to lose your stuff because your cheap airsoft helmet broke. Now, I did find this ECH for $50, which is a phenomenal deal. Now, those are modified PAGSAT helmets that came in about the same time as the ACH. This was to like help with the transition, and the Marine Corps probably still running a lot of these. And I live near a Marine Corps base, so it's pretty easy for me to find certain things, which is why I found this for so cheap. So I was very excited because it's an actual ballistic helmet that provides a decent amount of protection. You can look up videos. You can take a 9mm direct hit in many cases, and as far as there's quite a few anecdotes I've heard of these deflecting rifle rounds. Now, not direct shots, but they have saved some lives. And it was only $50. So that's cool. I also have this Rhino mount someone gave me. The ratchet strap broke because it's super old, and also the J-arm for it. That's handy because the P and V57Es came in, which I'll be doing a lot of work on. I'll probably do quite a few videos on these. And basically I have a lot of different stuff to do. I'll explain all the cool little details about this individual unit, because you can tell this isn't a standard unit. It has a different transformer. And I will also talk about the 3D printing process, which I'll be doing to make a mount so this can go on a J-arm. That way it's actually detachable. So I'll have an actual Gen 2 night vision dual tubes and an actual ballistic helmet, so that'll be cool. Now, this is Gen 2 by Russian standards, but I'm expecting more of a PVS 7 type performance, and possibly a little bit better peripheral vision, but we'll see. But we have some exciting projects. I also have this modified AR-7 22 rifle, which is pretty exciting. I 3D printed this whole end assembly, and I'll probably make a video talking about this rifle. I'll also make a separate video talking about these mags. These are the cheap Chinese mags that are extended. If you have one of these, Henry only sells 8 rounders, and these are sold as 15 rounders, and they do not function. But I figured out how to make them function, so I'll be uploading a video on that, so you guys can actually have some better mags, which really, it doesn't hold that much more than the Henry ones, but it just looks a little bit better in the gun. But we'll have that video, and probably some more content in the future, like some little shorts of comedic gun guy stuff that I think of, and maybe some more 3D printing stuff. No 3D printed firearms, even though it's totally legal in my state. You can do it, no problem. No permits or anything needed. I just don't want to, there's a lot of people doing that who are more intelligent than me, and there's no real need for me to upload any of that content. I'm more focused on stuff that is kind of unique that I'm doing, so if anyone else is doing something similar, this can be an aid to them. Because for a lot of my projects, like the AR-7, there's not a lot of support for this gun. Like, people just started putting out files for the AR-7 specifically, a lot of what I had to do, I had to modify things that were designed for other reasons, other guns. The PNV57, the PNV57s and PNV57Es, a lot of people have modified them, but there's not a whole lot of current, like, newer videos on them because they're so expensive and rare now. But yeah, I'm just kind of doing stuff that's more in my wheelhouse, stuff that is somewhat original or niche, just so if anyone's looking for it, they can find the information. Yeah, so, well, some fun stuff coming.